Welcome to my knit along. In segment 1 for my heart-shaped pillow, I'll be providing a rundown of the pattern. So let's get started. Hi there. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Stacy James with Just Spoolin Around, and before I get into what's to come, I want to give a huge shout out to my first 100 subscribers. I'm extremely honored and humbled that you've chosen to support what I have to offer, and I just want to say thank you so very much, and I hope to never disappoint. Now, let's see what this new knit along has in store for us. We're going to be making this really pretty heart-shaped pillow, and just in time for Valentine's Day. This is an intermediate project that will be worked from the humps of the heart down to the point by working in the round, which means it'll be worked as one piece, so we won't have to sew this one together. Since we're starting at the humps, each hump will be worked simultaneously as we alternate working rounds 1 through 6. And then in round 7, we're going to connect the humps to begin working this piece. This is one piece, and finish up by knitting through rows 26. Most of the odd rows will contain either increases or decreases for shaping, while most of the even rows will be knitted 1 for 1. Now that we've had the dogs barking, let's get into what you'll need to complete this project. We'll be using 7-weight jumbo chenille in one color along with polyfill for the stuffing. I used white chenille, but as always, you use whatever color you'd like. You'll need about 40 yards or 37 meters of chenille and 454 grams of polyfill. You'll also need a good pair of scissors. Finally, you'll need your preferred tools for completing the finishing work as well. The finishing work is pretty simple since we can just weave our tails into the work, join and secure them with a simple knot or thread, seal the ends using fray block or a lighter, and shove them to the inside of the pillow. Recommended supplies are provided in the links below. Gauge is irrelevant for this piece. Since we'll be using polyfill to stuff the pillow, minimizing slack and stitch size will keep the stuffing from popping out through the stitches at its widest point. There are 18 stitches measuring 19 inches or 48 centimeters, and 26 rounds come in at 16.5 inches or 42 centimeters. This is the only size that can be feasibly provided in our knit along. However, if you're familiar enough with how the pattern works, you should be able to resize it, either smaller or bigger, fairly easily. Now, be sure to subscribe, like, and ring that notification bell so I can continue to make free content. Also, if you share or sell your makes using any part of this pattern, please credit Just Spoolin Around in all digital and written advertising content and media, including Facebook groups, pages, and other social media outlets. Your support is key to my success, and I appreciate it more than I can say. I hope my free tutorials help with supporting your small business as well. Now, when you're ready to get started, we'll meet back up in segment 2, where we'll begin by working my humps. In segment 2, we're going to prepare one ball of yarn by unraveling the whole thing, placing one tail end to the right and the other on the left so we can work the humps simultaneously, where we'll use increases to shape the humps of our heart. Okay, so here we have our one ball of yarn with the tail ends separated on the right and the left. We'll begin with the left tail by chaining 4. Then grab the tail to the right and chain 4 again. Now let's come back to the chain on the left. We'll be working through the top leg of each chain to work one side of the pillow. Then we'll work through the bottom leg of each chain to work the other side. This will constitute one round. In this last chain, we want to work an increase through the top leg, so let's first work a knit stitch, then a purl stitch through the same leg. Then knit through the next 2 top legs. we want to work another increase in the top leg of this last chain. So let's first work a purl stitch this time, then a knit stitch through the same leg. We should have 6 stitches on this side of our heart. Now let's rotate our chain to work through the bottom leg of each of the chains. Again, we want to work an increase through the bottom leg on the first chain on this side. So we'll knit, then purl through the bottom leg. Then knit through the bottom leg of the next 2 stitches. We'll finish round 1 by working an increase through the bottom leg of the last chain on this side. So we'll first purl, then knit through that bottom leg. Each stitch on this side has a pair on the other side for a total of 12 stitches in the round. Now we're going to do the same thing to work round 1 on the chain to the right. So again, we have our 4 bottom legs to work on one side, and then we have 4 top legs to work the other side. Let's work our increase by knitting, then purling through the top leg of this first chain. Then knit the next 2 top legs. And finish this side by working an increase through the top leg of this last chain. So we'll purl first, then knit for 6 stitches on this side. Now we'll rotate the chain and work an increase through the bottom leg of the first chain on this side. So knit, then purl. We'll knit the next 2 bottom legs, and then finish the round by working an increase through the bottom leg of that last chain on this side. So we'll purl, then knit. We have just completed round 1, which is the hardest part of this project, and it will consist of 12 stitches in the round. Before we begin round 2 on our hump to the left, let's place a marker on our first stitch in the round for both of these humps. When increasing, the purl stitches like to hide out in the back and are easily missed. The marker makes keeping track of where we are in the round, especially when we have to rip those stitches out, for a little guy that's really good at playing hide and seek. Okay, so for round 2, we're simply going to knit all the way around, and this will be the case on every even round through round 24. So we'll remove the marker on this first stitch to knit the first stitch on round 2. Draw that first stitch into the 12th stitch to eliminate as much slack as possible, because this is the center between the 2 sides. Then replace the marker on that first stitch. When knitting the 7th stitch, be sure to draw it close to the 6th stitch to eliminate as much slack as possible, because again, this will be the center between the 2 sides. Knit around for both humps to complete round 2, and I'll meet back up with you for round 3. Before we work round 3, let's weave in our tails on the back side and seal these ends. Weaving in the single ends keeps them from unraveling and poking out through the front, but mainly it gives us an opportunity to close any gaps on that first chain. Of course, sealing keeps the yarn itself from unraveling. I'm using fray block, but burning the center thread works just as well. Now, once we finish that, let's begin with the left hump to work round 3. Let's work our increase in this first stitch. So we'll knit, then purl. Knit the next 4 stitches. Then we'll work another increase in the last stitch on this side of the hump. So purl and then knit. We'll now have 8 stitches on this side. Let's rotate the hump and we'll repeat the same stitch sequence on this side. So we're going to first knit, then purl in this first stitch. Then we'll knit the next 4 stitches, and we'll work our increase in this last stitch by working a purl stitch and then knit. We now have a total of 16 stitches after working round 3. Now let's pick up the hump on the right and do the same thing. So we'll knit and purl in the first stitch, remembering to replace the marker in the first stitch of this round. Then knit the next 4 stitches, and on that last stitch on this side, we'll work our increase with a purl, then knit. Now we'll rotate the hump and we'll work our increase in that first stitch on this side. So we'll want to knit, then purl. Now knit the next 4 stitches, then purl and knit in that last stitch on the round. Again, we'll have 16 stitches in this round. Now go ahead and work round 4 on both humps, and I'll meet back up with you for round 5. Let's begin with the left hump to work round 5. We'll knit the first 7 stitches, and on that last stitch on this side we'll work an increase. So we'll purl first, then knit in that last stitch. We now will have 9 stitches on this side. Let's rotate the hump and we'll work our increase in that first stitch on this side. So we'll knit, then purl. Then knit the last 7 stitches for a total of 18 stitches on round 5. Now let's grab the hump on the right, and we're actually going to do our increase on this first stitch here on this side, okay? So we're going to knit and then purl. Once we work our increase, we'll go ahead and knit those last 7 stitches on this side. Then we'll rotate and we'll knit the next 7 stitches, and we'll work our increase in that last stitch on this side. So we'll purl, then knit. This will give us a total of 18 stitches on round 5. Now work round 6 on both humps, and I'll meet back up with you for round 7. Round 7 is the connecting round, so we'll be connecting the right hump to the left hump. And we'll begin with the right hump this time to knit all 9 stitches on this side. Making the connection is as simple as knitting that first stitch on the left hump, but before we do that, we want to cut a long tail for the last stitch on the left hump. This will be used for sewing the gap that's created between the front and back sides when connecting the humps. Now once that tail's been cut, we'll leave it as is to continue knitting on this side of the humps by knitting the 9 stitches on this side of the left hump. Now rotate the humps and knit straight across this side for 18 stitches and a total of 36 stitches for the round. Now let's sew our hole closed. Here we can see that we've got a pretty large gap right there in the center of those humps between the front and the back where we join them, okay? So now we just want to use that nice long tail that we cut to sew that gap closed. So we're just going to find the leg on the stitch from the left hump and thread our yarn through there. Then we're going to find that next leg on the stitch to the right from the right hump and thread our yarn through that. Give it a good tug. Now we want to find from the stitch above, we want to find the leg and thread our yarn through that, and that stitch will be on the right hump on the other side. And now we want to find that adjacent stitch from the left hump and feed our thread through that stitch to close that up tightly. And then secure the tail with either a knot or thread, and then make sure you seal that end. Our humps have been joined, so just knit around for round 8, and I'll meet back up with you in segment 3 where we'll begin to work my point of our heart. In segment 3, we're going to begin decreasing along the sides of our odd rows to shape the point section of the heart. Let's get started. We begin round 9 with a right decrease, so place the second stitch over the first and knit them together. Now we'll knit the next 14 stitches. We'll end this side with another decrease, this time a left decrease. So place this first stitch over the last stitch and knit them together. We'll rotate the work and repeat the same stitch sequence on this side. So we'll start with a right decrease, then knit the next 14 stitches, and end with a left decrease. There are 16 stitches on each side for a total of 32 stitches in the round. Now, knit around for round 10, and I'll meet back up with you for round 11. On round 11, let's work our right decrease. We'll knit the next 12 stitches and finish this side by working the left decrease. Let's rotate the work and repeat the same stitch sequence on this side. So we'll start by working the right decrease, then we'll knit those next 12 stitches and finish the round with a left decrease. Each side has 14 stitches for a total of 28 stitches in the round. Now, knit around for round 12, and I'll meet back up with you for round 13. On round 13, let's work our right decrease, then we'll knit the next 10 stitches, and finish this side by working the left decrease. Now we'll turn the work to repeat the same stitch sequence on this side. So we'll work that right decrease, then we'll knit the next 10 stitches, and finish the round with a left decrease. Each side has 12 stitches for a total of 24 stitches in the round. Now, knit around for round 14, and I'll meet back up with you for round 15. On round 15, let's work our right increase. Then we'll knit our next 8 stitches this time, and we'll finish this side up by working the left decrease. Now rotate the work to repeat the same stitch sequence on this side. We'll work that right decrease, knit the next 8 stitches, and finish the round with the left decrease. Each side now has 10 stitches for a total of 20 stitches in the round. Go ahead and work round 16, and I'll meet back up with you for round 17. On round 17, we'll work our right decrease, then we'll knit our next 6 stitches this time, and we'll work those last 2 stitches by working the left decrease. Now rotate the work to repeat the same stitch sequence on this side, and we'll begin by working that right decrease. Then knit the next 6 stitches and finish the round with a left decrease. Each side has 8 stitches for a total of 16 stitches in this round. If you leave your finishing work for the end, you'll want to take care of the ends from adding a new ball of yarn at some point. I dealt with mine before working round 18, since now is the time to begin stuffing those humps. So once you've completed stuffing the humps, knit around for round 18, and I'll meet back up with you for row 19, or round 19, I should say. On round 19, let's work our right decrease. We'll knit the next 4 stitches and finish this side by working the left decrease. Then we'll rotate the work to repeat the same stitch sequence on this side. Work the right decrease and then knit the next 4 stitches finishing the round with a left decrease. Each side has 6 stitches for a total of 12 stitches in the round. Now, knit around for round 20, and I'll meet back up with you for round 21. On round 21, let's work our right decrease, knit the next 2 stitches, and finish this side by working the left decrease. Then we'll rotate the work to repeat the same stitch sequence on this side. So again, we'll work that right decrease, knit the next 2 stitches, and finish the round with a left decrease. Each side has 4 stitches for a total of 8 stitches in the round. Now, knit around for round 22, add some more stuffing, and I'll meet back up with you for round 23. On round 23, let's work our right increase, and then we'll just work our left decrease, leaving us with just 2 stitches. And we'll turn that work to repeat the same stitch sequence on this side, so we'll work that right decrease and finish the round with a left decrease. So we've got a total of 4 stitches in this round. Now go ahead and knit these 4 stitches to complete round 24 and add your last bit of stuffing. For row 25, we're going to work a right decrease, turn the work, and work another right decrease. So we have just 2 stitches left. Let's turn our work, and the first stitch in the round should be facing us. Okay. Now with the back sides of our 2 stitches together, knit them together. Now let's cut a long tail, and we'll draw it through both stitches from back to front. Then we're going to draw the tail end once more through both of those stitches from back to front. Now we just need to weave the tail end through our stitches into the work, secure with either a knot or thread, and seal the end, then just shove it inside that pillow. And that is it, my friends. You have just completed this beautiful heart-shaped pillow. The front and back are identical, and I hope I made this as easy as possible and that you enjoyed the process. If you have any questions or need any help, please don't hesitate to comment below or email me at support@justspoolinaround.com. Also, feel free to send me a photo of your completed project. I'd love to showcase your work in my next knit along. And if you'd like to see more free content, please be sure to subscribe, like, and ring that notification bell. Thanks again for watching. Peace out, all you hand knitting lovies. Until next time.